Welcome back to Monday Evening Quarterback. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show so far. Christian Simpson here. Um, what can I say? I say it all the time. I mean, I love those phone calls. Love being able to speak about the game with the supporters of the Daily Blitz and Monday Evening Quarterback. So thank you guys and thank everybody who's been a phone caller in years past. And that can be you. If you want to be featured on Monday Evening Quarterback as a phone caller, let me know. Email me, c.simpson at thedailyblitz.blog, or if you have my personal information, just reach out or reach out to me on social media. One way or the other, I will set it up. Book with me today. We will make it happen. Discussed everything that caught my eye in college the first half of the show. Now it's time to wrap things up. Um, as always, another entertaining day of NFL action. First place I want to start is I want to go to Cincinnati. And I remember saying to, I believe it was David on the Prime. I remember telling Dave that Cincinnati was going to have to earn that game. Jacksonville just wasn't going to lay down. And I think a lot of people, teams included, think that hey, we're the more superior team. So we're going to win this. No, you still got to show up, and you don't know what your opponent, better known as the underdog, is going to bring to the table. And Jacksonville made Cincinnati earn this yesterday. But the big news was Joe Burrow got hurt. It is turf toe. Don't know if he's going to play next Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings. Hopefully that's a game preview. Just saying. Jake Browning came in and didn't necessarily look the greatest. 21 to 32, 241 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. The minute I saw Burrow get hurt, all I could say was, here we go again. When are they going to get this kid protection? Because the Bengals have been cheap for years now, and they are going to get this kid killed. Like, to be real, I wouldn't be surprised if Burrow just decided to up and retire. Kind of like how Andrew Luck did, because he gets hit and pummeled more than any other quarterback I know in this league. Despite him being out, the Bengals handled their business. They did come back to win this game, 31 to 27. The one thing I need to see the Bengals do more of is run the football. Chase Brown, give him more touches, and it just seems like they haven't really been able to find that balance since they let Joe Mixon go. Why they let him go, I have no idea. But you see what Joe did for Houston last year. And I think Nick Chubb would have been great for the Cincinnati Bengals. He fits what they want to do. They want to run uphill. They want to run down the middle. Jacksonville, on the other hand, Trevor Lawrence was 24 of 42, 271 yards passing with 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. They had this game, Jacksonville that is, until they didn't. The Bengals are 2-0. Yeah, Cincinnati is 2-0. And you remember, I said they couldn't afford to get off to another slow start because they put themselves in holes, and then it becomes tougher and tougher to dig yourself out of when you keep losing. Now we're gonna see what they're really made of next week. Some of the other early 1:00 games yesterday, the Lions won their scrimmage against the Bears and they put up 50 on them. Jared Goff, 23 or 28, 334 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Wow. This is a lot of what he did last year. Jahmyr Gibbs, leading rusher, 94 yards on 12 carries and a touchdown. David Montgomery added 57 yards himself. The Bears just quit. There's no other way around it. Ben Johnson's homecoming, and he was embarrassed. The Bears are 0-2. I don't know what to make of the Bears, because last week against Minnesota, they played with so much intensity in the first half until they didn't. Football is truly a game of two halves, and Minnesota just made adjustments. I say it all the time on Twitter. What team makes the adjustments? The key adjustments at that in the second half. Yeah, there's really nothing more to say. The Bears lost by 31, 52-21. San Francisco has a grind game out in New Orleans. No Brock Purdy, no George Kittle, no problem. As the 49ers won that game 26-21, and Spencer Rattler has yet to win a game as a professional NFL quarterback. Mac Jones was the starting quarterback, yeah. The Mac Jones from the Patriots. 26-39, 279. He threw 3 touchdown passes. Christian McCaffrey, 13 carries, 55 yards on the ground. Yeah, San Francisco really couldn't get much of their running game going. And Spencer Rattler didn't look bad. He threw 3 touchdown passes himself, but San Francisco's defense made a play when it mattered. And I don't know if you guys saw a lot of this game, but did y'all see that crowd in New Orleans? You would have thought it was a 49ers home game, but 49er fans traveled deep. So I'm not surprised about that. They really took over the Bayou and Bourbon Street. Rams handled their business. Now, one thing I have to say, the Titans play tough, and they have these first 2 games of the season, but the Rams handled their business. They won 33-19. For a minute, I thought they were looking ahead because they have a big game this upcoming week, another one that I think I'll be previewing. The Rams are 2-0. They were my pick to win the NFC West. Stafford threw 2 touchdown passes. Devontae Adams is still Devontae Adams, and if you decide to pick and choose to play man coverage on him, you're going to pay for it. Single man coverage at that. At least have some safety help over the top. It's just an insult at this point. I want to talk about the AFC East matchup. Well, one of them, the Patriots handled their business against the Dolphins in a back-and-forth affair, 33-27. Tua has to take better care of the ball. Plain and simple. There's that, but the Bills and Jets, and every Sunday before every game, I call my uncle and break the game down for him. And of course, he had the Bills and Jets game on. He lives in Harlem. Harlem, what's up? And I said to him, the Bills have to treat this game as if they are the underdogs. And here's what I mean by that. That was a great come-from-behind win in Week 1 against the Ravens. And unfortunately, when you win a big game like that, you can bring the celebrations over into the next week, and the other team can take advantage of that. And it seems like every time the Bills and Jets play at MetLife, the Jets always play Buffalo tough. I don't know what it is. They always play Buffalo tough, but that was not the case yesterday. Because my key for Buffalo was start quickly and good things are going to happen. And that's exactly what they did. Josh Allen really didn't do much. He was kind of game manager yesterday. 14 to 25, 148 yards passing, no touchdowns, no interceptions. James Cook was your star in this game. 21 carries, 132 yards rushing, and two touchdowns. And I always say he is their most important player on this offense. When you can get him going and you keep getting him going, he's only going to get stronger as the game goes on. What have I said for years, guys, if you've been listening? The one thing I want to see Buffalo do is what? Run that football. And Buffalo ran the ball 43 times for 224 yards. You guys have no idea how much that makes my heart smile. Yeah, don't put everything on your quarterback. That's why a lot of quarterbacks press. Because the coach puts the weight of the world on their shoulders. And Sean McDermott's been known to do that with Josh Allen. On the Jets side, yeah, it just wasn't a good day at the office. Justin Fields didn't look all that great. He actually got hurt in this game yesterday. Tyrod Taylor came in. I mean, he did lead the Jets to their only touchdown. Threw it to Jeremy Ruckert. But, yeah, Buffalo's 2-0. That shouldn't be a shocker to anybody. Arguably the game of the day. Giants, Cowboys. Now, it seems like anytime quarterbacks play a certain team, their play just seems to ascend. Okay? Let's take it back here. Like Brett Favre with the Chicago Bears. Like I don't know what it was. He just used to absolutely destroy the Chicago Bears. Same with Aaron Rodgers. Josh Allen against the Miami Dolphins. Tom Brady against the Buffalo Bills. I think he went like 33-3, if I'm not mistaken. And Dak Prescott has that same type of pull when he plays the Giants. Now, coming into this game yesterday, Dak had won his last 13 games against the Giants. I really didn't know what to expect in this game. You know, I thought Dallas was just going to run away with this, but I give the Giants a lot of credit because they played with a lot of heart. They played with some energy. They played with poise. And they actually looked like they gave a damn. His name is Russell. Last name Wilson. Kind of showed signs of vintage Seattle Russ. 30 of 41, 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a god-awful interception. Dak Prescott threw the ball 58 times, but completed 38 of those 52 pass attempts. 361. That's how many passing yards he threw for. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. This Dallas pass rush, it's not going to get better anytime soon. Unless Jerry decides to buy a brain and signs a pass rusher. Now, I know after this game he did sign Jadeveon Clowney, but even that doesn't make them better. Jadeveon is more equipped to stop the run. They need a guy who can apply consistent pressure, and they did have that, but now he's a Green Bay Packer, which I will talk about after this. What a game this was. The Cowboys did win in overtime by a score of 40-37. The Giants are 0-2. And they welcome another 0-2 team to town next Sunday night. If it doesn't get flexed. Just looking at everything else, man, I want to go to Pittsburgh because I have a concern. I never thought I'd say this in all my years of watching the NFL, specifically the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are soft. Yes, they do have Aaron Rodgers, and yes, he's looked great at times. But when I think of Steeler football, I think of them just physically dominating the opponent. You know what I'm saying? in running the football. They haven't really had a consistent running game, I want to say, since Le'Veon Bell. And that's saying something. Um, yeah, Aaron Rodgers looked great last week, but he didn't look great yesterday. 18 to 33, 203 yards passing, one touchdown, and he threw two interceptions. He was sacked three times. I got to give Seattle a lot of credit because it's tough for a West Coast team to fly across the country into that 1 o'clock window and win a game on the East Coast. But they did it. Pittsburgh looked like they were kind of controlling this game, but there's just too many miscues, the interceptions, and then a god awful special teams blunder where someone just didn't decide to catch the ball. It bounces into the end zone. It's a live ball, and a Seattle defender gets the ball, and it's a touchdown. One thing I was taught when I played was you play until the whistle blows. That was a live football. And I know Mike Tomlin was pissed off. The Steelers are soft. Call it what it is. They gave up 32 points last week. They gave up 31 yesterday. That's not Steeler football. I know guys like Joe Green and Jack Lambert, Mel Blount, Troy Polamalu, James Harrison. A lot of great Steeler royalty that I listed. I know they're probably pissed off seeing this type of effort. But kudos to the Seattle Seahawks. You know, I'll give credit when and where it's due. Yeah, the 1 o'clock window was highly entertaining. The 4 o'clock window, what a game in Indianapolis. Broncos, Colts. Wanted to see if Daniel Jones could do it again. And I said this last week on the Prime. And I said it in my preview this week. All Daniel Jones has to worry about now is simply being a quarterback. Either you can handle the stage and the spotlight that is New York City, or you can't. And he's in a way smaller market in Indianapolis. He doesn't have to worry about if he's going to be subjected to the back page, and that's the one place you don't want to be when you're an athlete playing in New York. And he just looks like he's playing a little more free-flowing. 23 of 34, 316 yards passing, a touchdown, no interceptions. Jonathan Taylor, oh, you know the rule. You better have game. If you got two first names, it's only right. 25 carries, $165. No touchdowns, but when they fed him the ball, he did something with it. I think a lot of people wanted to see how Denver's offense was going to bounce back, and Bo Nix had himself a hell of a game. 22 of 30, 206 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Denver had this game until they didn't. Indianapolis was set to kick a field goal. It was a 60-yarder. And he missed it. The Colts kicker missed it. It was a missed field goal. But then, out comes the flag. It's roughing the kicker or running into the kicker, whatever they call it these days. So that moves the Colts up 15 yards. So it goes from being a 60-yarder to a 45-yarder. He makes it. Indianapolis is 2-0. Was that on your bingo card? Because it sure as hell wasn't on mine. Colts win a thrilling game, 29 to 28. That's a tough loss for Denver, but you commit a penalty. Look how it could impact your whole team. One thing I forgot to mention, like when week 2 started, it kicked off in Green Bay, Lambeau, Commanders, Packers. Love what I saw from Green Bay in week 1. And I was impressed with what I saw from them in week two. Yes, they're a contender. I mean, it's tough to say after two games because a lot can happen. I've seen teams go 2-0 and then they lose 5 or 6 in a row. Not saying that's going to be the case with them, but I haven't seen them have this much fun since 2011. That was a team I believe that started 13-0, or 14-0, if I'm not mistaken. Um, that's when Aaron Rodgers won his first MVP and put the league on notice. This is defense. Everyone's flying to the ball. Everyone is playing downhill. Everyone believes they can get home because of one guy. Micah Parsons has that much of an impact. Um, the Packers did win this game, 27-18.
You know,
And yeah, they're gonna be tough. They're gonna be a force to be reckoned with. I think they win the NFC North. I actually had them coming out of the NFC. They were my Super Bowl pick before Micah Parsons got traded there. Yeah. And the final game I'm gonna talk about before I wrap everything up, the Super Bowl rematch: Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs. A lot of hype coming into this game. You know, both teams not looking the greatest in week one. You know, everything changed for the Eagles when a certain somebody named Jalen Carter wanted to spit in someone's face. I mean, spit at someone. And he was ejected, and the whole game plan changed. He was fine, but he wasn't suspended. I guess they were considering his ejection a suspension of some sorts. And the Cowboys just attacked the Eagles up the middle. Big game. You got to keep your emotions in check. And I previewed this game on Friday. Now, I'll admit to you guys, I was very back and forth about who to pick in this game because there's just that thought in my head, oh, man, the Chiefs ain't starting 0-2. There's just no way. They've never done that under Patrick Mahomes. There's no way. But there's no Xavier Worthy. He got hurt in week one against the Chargers, and Rashee Rice is suspended for now the next 4 games. This game was a lot more low scoring than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little more high scoring, but one thing I will say is you see why having Jalen Carter on the field makes all the difference. He is a man-child, and he's a lane eater. He takes up so much real estate in the middle of a defense. And because of that, everyone else benefits from his presence, meaning they can roam around and make plays on the ball. You know, the edge rushers, they have one-on-ones on the ends. The linebackers, they can play more freely, sideline to sideline. And the corners, you know, they can play back a little bit more. You know, Jalen Hurts didn't have the best day at the office, but he was efficient. 15-22, 101 yards. Passing, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Saquon, 22 carries, 88 yards, and he did score a touchdown. The Eagles ran a ball for 122 yards. Excuse me. Patrick Mahomes on the other end, 16-29, $187, 1 touchdown, and he threw an awful interception that Andrew Makuba picked off and almost took to the house. Kelsey was your leading receiver. Philly did win this game, and I did end up siding with Philly. Man, I was so back and forth before I even revealed the preview to you all. 20-17 for the first time since Patrick Mahomes has been their starting quarterback. The Chiefs are 0-2. No, it's not time to panic. It's 2 games. Now, if they were 0-4, 0-5, then you panic. But now you have to apply the term must win with them. Um, Crazy. And yeah, Philly was just more physical. They were physical with them in the Super Bowl. They were physical with them again yesterday. Um, Philly has a big game next week. 2-0 Eagles, 2-0 Rams at the Link in South Philly. Kansas City comes out by me. They'll be at MetLife playing the New York Giants. 2 0-2 teams next Sunday night. Um, that's all I pretty much have for the NFL. I'm going to check to see if I have questions being asked. And it looks like no one left me any. So with that being said, I'm about to wrap this up. As always, guys, thank you so very much for tuning in. If you like what you heard, make sure you keep up with us. Log on to the site, which is thedailyblitz.blog, and enter your email address today. Anything I put on the site, you will get directly to your email inbox. Remember, we are on Spotify, YouTube, Twitch, and the Nerdport Network. I got it right this time. How else can you keep up with me? Follow us on Twitter, which is at DailyBlitz_61. Follow us on Instagram, which is at TheDailyBlitz61. And follow my personal page, which is at TheFootballAnalyst_61. Keep up with me through the airwaves. Monday Evening Quarterback every Monday night. Then right after, you can catch me on the Prime with Israel Rivera, TJ Hopkins, and Matt James. We recap the previous week that was of NFL action on Mondays. Tuesday, we look ahead and pick games for the up-and-coming week of NFL action on the Prime with David On Point and TJ Hopkins and myself. So you can catch me with Prime Sports World every Monday and Tuesday. Wednesdays, you can catch me on The Betting Window with Ronnie Kumpf, John Danzo, Ryan Shaw on the Nerdport Network. Be talking a little college football, picking games, and picking NFL games as well. Fridays, you can catch me on College Football Showdown on Prime Sports World with my main man, Israel Rivera and Matt James, looking back at the previous week of college football and looking ahead to the up-and-coming week of college football. That show was always fun. You know, I'm so thankful for all these opportunities to contribute. With that being said, it's time to wrap this thing up. As always, huge shout out to my family, my amazing mom, and my sister Taylor, my son Siebes, my other siblings Sean, Janice, Tanisha, Daphne, some other people I'm close with, Robert Butler, Jason Tyree. Still praying for you, Jason. Man, keep your head up. Always here when you need me. Kim L. Fryer, is actually her birthday. Happy birthday, Kim. It was her birthday yesterday. So I hope you had a great birthday, and I hope this is a legendary year for you. Candace Carter, it was my man Rob Carter. It was his birthday yesterday as well, so happy birthday, Rob. Mike Griffin, Velo, Alex Bennett, Cole Johnson, better known as Coach, D, our moderator. Thank you guys for making me better day in and day out, week in and week out, and monthly as well. My dad, thought I mentioned him at the beginning. Love you, young man. Thank you for everything you do, man. I'm not here and I'm not in this position without my parents or my sister. Those three have been my three biggest cheerleaders, and I'm just so thankful for all of them. Kevin Cooper, his amazing wife Lynn, their beautiful baby girl Evelyn, who we all refer to as Evie. Keep doing big things in school. Pay attention. And we're always proud of you. And just to everybody who's listened to Monday Evening Quarterback and has kept up with the Daily Blitz all these years, I thank you so very much. I'm off to go do the prime. Remember, 2 games on Monday Night Football tonight. Tampa Bay plays the Houston Texans in Houston, and I'm picking Tampa to win that game. I just think that defense is going to be a lot for CJ Stroud to overcome, and I don't know if this Houston offensive line is strong enough to protect him, because Todd Bowles is going to throw a lot of different looks at him. He's going to send blitzes. No coach likes to blitz more than Todd Bowles. And then to wrap up week 2, the Chargers will play the Las Vegas Raiders, and I like the Chargers. If Justin Herbert can play and stay in control like he did against the Chiefs in week 1, I think the Chargers will be in really good shape. With that being said, that has been today's edition of Monday Evening Quarterback. I will be back here next Monday, God willing. If anything changes, whether something comes up or I got to be somewhere, I will let you guys know. But thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I have fun recording it, and I will see you guys next week. Continue to send me your questions. I'm off to go do the prime on Prime Sports World. Don't meet me there. Beat me there. I will see you all throughout the week on the airwaves.